UKLC is presented by Barclays and Curry's PC World.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the UKLC where we're kicking off our fourth and final game of the day. It's MNM Academy taking on, Barrage Academy. There we go, got there in the end. Orcs, where are we looking at in this game, mate? Where are we excited for? I'm seeing two names in the top lane for exciting me, but where have you got your eyes on?
80 carries, all 80 carries. Harry's been a massive factor for MNM. They've been playing around him heavily. And for Barrage, KDO, I legitimately think is a really good player. And he looked solid last week on the Ezreals. I actually think this could be a really interesting matchup between these two, who can sort of find the dominance in these team fighters, because both of them are pretty heavy team fighters. I feel like Harry's more the sort of scaling of Phelios, the Caitlyn, the more auto-attack crit-based player, where KDO, I mean, things like the Ezreal in particular, potentially could see him lean on the poke Varus. But I just think this matchup, you talked to me about it a week ago, and I'd be not nearly as excited because Barrage did look good last week. They managed to dominate London, and they managed to beat out Bulldog. Now, I will say that London are a pretty inconsistent team. So some games, you can just beat London and be like, okay, yeah, we won. That's not to discredit them. I did say myself that they looked like a new team. They looked better. But I think considering London are a little bit inconsistent and Bulldog are 0-7, I need to see a little bit more from them before I can be fully on the Barrage hype train. And this is their chance, because MNM have looked good. I think MNM obviously aren't without faults, but they have looked solid. I think bot lane in particular has been one of their strengths, and Harry. I think Gadunika's really come online well. And I think Barrage could answer them here.
I'm glad you bring up Gadunika, actually, because I want to know if you're sold on him. Because I, from day one, was singing this guy's praises, because he played in the qualification stage, and I really, really liked his play. I've been kind of at this guy's back for a while, but you were quite critical of him, but you've been able to pull it back.
Yeah, I think he had a rough start, and I think that's the thing, is a lot of players have had rough starts in the split because there's a lot of rookie players. The nerves are a big factor. I think that's the thing, is it's very easy to look at, especially if you look at the top leagues, you look at teams like G2 and you're like, oh my God, they just, they have so much fun in every game. Or even when you think to your own games and you're like, I would never make a mistake like that. And it's like, yeah, but there's a lot more pressure. And I think especially when you're a rookie player, when you're not like G2 with years of experience under your belt, or experience playing in the World Finals and losing 0-3, there's a lot of pressure, even when it's your first debut into the UKLC, when you have people watching, and when there's a lot more on the line, players don't play their best. And every player will tell you. I mean, we saw No Name on here earlier saying scrim's completely different to competitive, and it's just completely true. So I think you have to sort of take a step back and go, okay, that wasn't great. Nerves are a factor. We're not going to get perfect gameplay. We're not at the highest level, and even if we were, it's still not perfect gameplay there, because as much as you may be able to execute in scrims in practice, it doesn't always deliver. And I think we're seeing a lot of that, where players struggled to get a grasp of their nerves, struggled to sort of display what they were clearly capable of doing. And we're seeing more of that. And I think that's the thing with Gadunika, is a bit of nervous play at the start, some overreaches, some misplays, some miscalculations, and now he's really found his footing. And it should be a good challenge here, him up against Afroboy, who, similar boat, had a rough start, now looking really more on form. Although I'll say for him, a little bit more if it was down to the fact that the team didn't really facilitate him. But I think both of them, I mean, I always say jungle's a strong role at the moment, so that could be a good matchup to watch as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was wondering whether or not you're going to be sold on Afro Boy, but it sounds like these junglers are two people who have earned your respect a little bit here in the season. So we'll have to see how they match up. Maybe they'll get something fruity. Maybe they won't. We'll see after the break when we're back with our fourth and final game of the day. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with MNM versus Barrage. Hello and welcome back to the UKLC. We're rounding out the 4th game of the day. MNM on the blue side, Barrage on the red. We're already into picks and bans, and Graves has been taken away. Actually kind of surprised. I guess it's not really a first pick on blue side, but Gudanica has really liked the Graves.
I think maybe it's just a situation where there's answers to it. You know, we've seen things like the Nidalee be a solid answer, and ultimately, if you're blind picking it on blue side, that's where it can end up being a little bit of problem. Whereas obviously with Barrage Academy, they can take it 3rd pick and then ban away the champions that cause a problem. So understandable in that regard. We do see the Varus banned away on red side, no surprise. But the Ezreal being taken away from KDO, I 100% agree with. I think he is just a menace on this champion. And it does lower his power level a fair amount.
A lot of 80 carries.
Yeah, I mean...
This has to be Caitlyn. This has to be Caitlyn from Harry.
Not necessarily.
Unless KDO wants to play it, because I know Harry will pick
Syndra
it.
is open.
Syndra is... Ooh, that's another good one.
I mean,
if you're MNM and Syndra gets left open, you just pick Syndra here as your blue pick, and then hope the Kate's also... We'll see what they go for.
I mean,
there are a lot of strong picks.
They're not going to leave... I mean, they might leave Syndra open for another pick, but I don't think they're going to, like, you know, leave Syndra open expecting to get Caitlyn, because they don't care about Caitlyn. It's a specific pick. Actually, not going for the Syndra here, going for the set. Seen a lot of priority on this, in all honesty. Volibear also something that got left open and available, so... Just seeing some variations maybe to what people are looking to prioritize in the league at the moment.
Alrighty, well, the answer here looks like we're going to see the Volibear. Obviously, a flexible pick for Barrage Academy. I have to see whether or not this Syndra is going to actually see any priority in this pick bans.
Did get nerfed on 10-13. More mana cost on the queue, so that could be a factor to it not having as much priority. But not enough for Barrage not to take it, it seems. But we'll wait to see if they lock it in.
They are going to lock that Syndra in now. So over to MNM. Obviously, remember, Syndra, again, a flexible pick. So I actually really like this from Barrage. They really haven't shown their hand at all. They could have the Volibear in the top or the jungle, the Syndra in the middle, the bot. Like you're saying, typically we've been seeing more of the Syndra bot side than we have anywhere else, but it is still a potential pick up here. Now, MNM, what do they want to go for? I feel like if they're going to pick the Caitlyn, it's going to be now. So we'll see what they want to do. The Thresh was left open as well. We kind of missed that, actually. That is going to get...
I think Thresh is nice as a denial away from it, pairing up with the Syndra, and also provides a safety net. Good synergy with Caitlyn, because you can obviously land the hook into the traps and cause a lot of problems. Also nice peel against the Volibear. We'll have to see what they end up prioritizing. It's going to be that Caitlyn, and I feel like Barrage, if you're going to answer with an AD carry in the bot lane, you need to do it now. Otherwise, you can keep the threat of it open with that Syndra as a flex until later, but the AD carry priority has kind of... We've knocked out the 4 big ones. Ashe has kind of come up as something people have been playing. But if you go Ashe here, Tom Kench will get banned, and it's a little bit vulnerable. I can actually see Tom coming out here, but they are just going to go for the Nautilus. So investing heavily in the potential of a threat of a Nautilus Syndra bot lane, super punishing against the likes of a Thresh, where they can just blow you up, land that CC. We do go in the second ban phase. I think MNM...
I actually like the Nautilus as well, because it, again, doesn't actually reveal where the Syndra is going, so it kind of keeps that in the dark. The Galio is going to get banned away here from the side of Barrage Academy. And now MNM maybe scratching their heads a little bit, because they're not entirely sure what's where. So it's actually quite hard, because if you ban out mid laners, the Syndra could just go mid. If you ban out top laners, you could just have the Volibear go top. But if now they feel that Trundle's still too strong, don't want to deal with that, that's going to get denied. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. I wonder if they would throw a ban at something like the Ashe, but to be honest, I feel like Ashe Nautilus still you'd be fine playing into that. Trying to think what mid laners maybe they'd be concerned about, but to be honest, I feel like it depends where this Volibear is going. In all honesty, I think the flexibility of Barrage is actually kind of tricky to deal with right now. We just see the Olaf banned away. Obviously with the Trundle off the cards, that is like the big counter to the Olaf, so definitely opens up his strength, and into something like a Syndra and a Nautilus who have a lot of CC would be problematic. Now, really comes down here to what MNM want to specifically target. They're going to go for the Wukong, which it does open up the idea for a consistent flex between the Volibear and the Wukong, where even when 5 champions are picked, you don't know where it's going until 20 seconds and they've locked it in. Makes a lot of sense in that regard.
All right, well, the final bans are going into the last pick phase here for Barrage. Looks like it is going to be the Ashe bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, Ashe typically has been a good matchup into the Caitlyn, just because of the range matchup between them. Ashe is pretty close in terms of range, and you can use your W to consistently shove. So I like that. AP Cogmore into Syndra.
Early it's gonna suck. Early it's gonna really suck, but eventually you'll just be able to clear the waves from such a distance that Syndra won't threaten you. But I guess by that point, also you're kind of not in laning phase anymore.
What MNM have looked to do is they have a composition where they want to keep the enemy team really at bay. Say, whoa, keep away from us. Caitlyn and Cogmore are long-range siege machines, essentially. And it can make things very difficult when you have a mobile carries like Syndra and the Ashe. But my concern here is there's a lot of engage already. You have the Ashe Arrow, you have the Nautilus. Even like a Syndra stun or a volley bear running in can be a problem. I like the concept of AP Cogmore with the changes. I am not confident in it here, especially after Barrage pick up Gangplank. So like, picture Cogmore walks up to try and spit on people, right? You call down the cannon barrage. Okay, he's slowed. If he doesn't have flash available, he needs the lantern out. And then it's like, you're already on the back foot and you can easily follow it with more damage from the rest of the team. The ultimate from the Ashe can fly in. I get the concept. It's just, it's really scary. Ultimately, this Cogmore needs a lot of help to get to the point where he is strong. And obviously the scaling is huge on this, but scaling is only as good as your ability to keep this Cogmore safe. I think the Thresh being there is a massive factor. I think without the Thresh, I'd be even more concerned. But I think because they have the Thresh, I am only somewhat concerned.
Sent the set into the jungle as well for Gardonica. Yeah, Gardonica. I always get that wrong. I always mess his name up. So, been a while since we've seen that. It was a bit the flex where Aragon then ended up taking the Renekton. Been a little while since I've seen Set go in the jungle. More recently, I've seen him, if he's out of the top, I've seen him support. How's this going to work? Like, what is the game plan with Set jungle?
Seen a lot more, in the LEC in particular, a lot of Set and Volibear going jungle, more so even the top, weirdly. I think it's just, like, they're really strong top laners, but they also offer a lot of flexibility and skirmishing power. Ultimately, the power of him in the jungle is, you can just get into the mix of a fight. You can run the blue smite, so you can get obviously the movement speed with Nimbus Cloak, with Phase Rush. Get in the middle of people, slam them together, use your shield. And as much as he's not got the greatest sort of initial engage compared to someone like Zac, once you get into the thick of things, you're really hard to deal with because of the Haymaker with a massive shield. So it's just a skirmishing power, similar to the Volibear. Obviously, Set's got a bit more of an instant impact. But yeah, both these strong skirmishers you could look to sort of apply some pressure early, even though their ganking isn't the best.
Seen the Phase Rush on the Cogmore. I've seen a few different builds with the Meteor, but Phase Rush
is definitely
a lot of safety. So much safety.
In my opinion, Phase Rush is definitely the best option. I think Comet is like, it's just overkill, honestly. Yeah. It's just complete overkill. Phase Rush gives you a bit of safety. If you're landing stuff, you have that mobility to play around with. In fact, originally when AP Cogmore was played, people used to run Ghost for the same reason, for that safety. And also for the ability to chase down. If you land a couple of ults in a row, you can very easily start to chase them down, get that movement speed advantage. It means you're not as reliant on things like Rylai's super early to be able to chain ults together. So I like this build better. Obviously, you got the Presence of Mind secondary. So you can have that big mana pool. We'll be going towards the Seraphs early. And obviously, a bit of a weak point there, but we'll look to spike later on with items like the Leandries, like the...
Crystal Scepter? I've seen a lot of that.
Crystal Scepter, yeah. So you can chain the slows together on the ults on immobile people like KO and Mojo, because they won't have an out, essentially, and you can keep chaining them. Rabadon's and Void Staff are your standard things that almost any AP is going to round a build out with. But yeah, also you can go for Oblivion Orb if you want like an early spike, because he has a lot of base damages for the pen, but typically we don't see that so much, just because Leandries is so much better on him. And usually if you go Leandries and Morale, you're going to be missing out on something. So but yeah, I mean, the main thing with Cogmore is looking for the spikes. Level 7 is big, because at that point you can just like ult the casters and one-hit them. At every point he gets a point in his ultimate is big, because it increases the range. So obviously level 6, level 11, level 16 is huge. Similar to like how Caston is a massive factor. You got to view him similar to Caston in some ways, just he does different things. Caston is a great side lane, a great team fighter. Cogmore is a great, basically, artillery cannon. But does spike in sort of similar ways, just different items, but it's more about the levels.
Alrighty, well, the minions have loaded in. We're onto the Rift. And Junglers starting up on the same side of the map as each other. Actually, no, sorry, I'm wrong about that. Afroboy started on the red side. Although he went red to blue instantly. Have you ever had a weird pet, Orcs?
A weird what?
A weird pet. I know you're like a cat guy. But do you ever have, like, when you're a kid, do you ever, like, have a weird pet? My sister used to have hermit crabs.
No. I was
No,
just
just
cats.
cats.
Cats all the way. It's weird, my mum used to have dogs when she was a kid, and then when with us, we've only had cats.
Yeah,
My dad...
I wouldn't argue dogs are a weird pet. They're a pretty normal pet.
Yeah. But it's just, no, it's just weird the fact that, like, there was that switch. Like, 'cause she likes dogs by all means. It's just, I guess we just want to try something different. It's actually interesting. Oh, we saw Vango get his flashbang mid. So nice early gank. This is kind of one of the concerns I had for the Cogmore. But my dad never used to like cats when we first got them. They've grown on him. But I remember being told by my granddad why. And basically, a cat had climbed onto the roof of their house, and he went up on a ladder to try and rescue it. And then he climbs up the ladder, gets up the top, and he's reaching to try and help the cat out. And then the ladder slips, and he actually broke his arm.
Oh.
And then the cat jumped down.
That's such a cat thing to do.
Yep.
Good. Anika's here to just escort the lane in to make sure Akers doesn't get a freeze. Although they actually are looking to tower dive here. They can do this really effectively. First blood to Aragon.
Just beautiful chaining of the CC. Not really a window there for Akers. I think Orange must have been on cooldown as well. And a great punish. And this is why I actually really like this Renekton pick and the flex from the set. Is it means you have a lane to play around.
Uh-oh, Vango dodges the scattered.
I mean, that's the play. That is, you just do that again and again until Vango dies, essentially. That's the game plan here. And you can see bot lane. KDO holding it pretty all right. Like I said, the Ashe was the typical old counter for the Caitlyn, just matching up in terms of ranges. Obviously, these two champions, not so much in the meta at the moment. Well, at least the Caitlyn. The Ashe has made a resurgence, though. And definitely a good spot for it. Something to note is we do see double cleanse on Vango and Harry, which I am definitely a fan of. I think is absolutely the right decision.
Into Ashe, Nautilus, Volibear, Syndra. Yeah, absolutely.
It does mean that Vango is TP-less, and we see Wojuk's TPing back in with double Doran's Boots, Fairy Charm. So a lot of mana regen to play around with. Obviously important when they increase the mana costs for Syndra on the nerf this patch. It does mean Vango is going to miss out in terms of pressure here. And we could actually see Wojux shove this wave in mid and rotate down bot to help here. Afroboy's already there. They could have gone for a bot side lean, but it looks like they're going to not bother and just go for the dragon. They still do have the priority for it, though. So Wojux feels comfortable to start this one up. Yeah, you can see the warning pings that. They know this is happening, but there's not very much they can actually do.
No, they don't really have the prior bot lane, although Gadonika's looking to see if he can make something happen. Afroboy gets chilling smited, the lantern away, Gadonika comes in forward, has that face breaker, pulls the 2 in, and the haymaker secures the kill. Aragon joins in as well, and now Afroboy's forced to flash. MNM turn on a dime and just secure the kills and the dragon.
Beautiful play coming out, and essentially they saw the window, they didn't have priority, they opted to go for a hard engage, and it delivers. Getting the first dragon with this team composition is massive. We talked about the scaling aspect of this Cogmore. If it gets out the laning phase, it's going to be great. And now you just bought it 5 minutes at least. Because Barrage could threaten the soul as one of their win conditions. It's now going to take at least an extra 5 minutes before that's...
Oh. Okay. I mean, Vango channeling, obviously, the main MNM mid laner there a little bit.
True, actually, we've seen Cogmore mid from both Vango, from MNM Academy and MNM.
And they both got solo killed. Now, Dreampire taking a lot of damage. The cannon barrage is there, and Afroboy's looking to slide in to help secure this. They get the shield off. Harry has to use the cleanse to try and disengage. As Afroboy's going to take a lot of damage from Harry. Gadonika uses a big haymaker. Almost able to secure the kill, but the slows, the hooks, everything is too much to work with. That's going to be the end of Gadonika. 2 kills picked up for Barrage Academy there.
That's essentially the power of the Gangplank. You throw that ultimate down, it sets the engage up easily. It's actually very hard to deal with because you can't just cleanse a Gangplank ultimate. Sure, you can flash out of it, but it's like the constant slowing is a problem. And all you need to do is you get the Ashe in range, you get the Volley Bear in range, and they will keep the targets tracked. So pretty nice in that regard. And a good 2 kills for KDO is a really nice answer back from Barrage Academy, who, after losing the Dragon, after losing these 2 kills, I was a little bit hesitant on. And we do start seeing the swaps towards top side. MNM Academy going to be a little bit faster on this one. But Gadonica not on the side of the map to really help out with anything yet. And obviously still 20 seconds till that Herald spawns.
And Aragon just got a pretty big wave as well. So he's up in over Akers at the moment. Harry's going to catch this wave in the top lane. So overall, not too much was lost by those 2 deaths. Obviously, apart from the gold.
Yeah, and I mean, you burn the GP ultimates, that's a big factor. We're actually seeing Aragon has a pretty sizable lead. Obviously, as you talked about, that wave came into it. But even outside of that, he's doing really well into Akers right now, which, you know, you're picking the Renekton for that early pressure. It's expected. You got that dive as well. But it's still a positive sort of omen for MNM Academy when they still do have these scaling elements in the rest of their composition.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow is now available to KDO. Harry does not have Cleanse, which means I'm very susceptible to getting caught out by the chain CC available to Barrage Academy. So he has to play very careful on this Caitlyn, and that alone may just mean they can't actually contest this Rift Herald. They went for the swap, and it looks like Garonika's looking to make a play onto Akers. He throws in the ultimate, trying to put the damage in, trying to knock him back. Aragon pops his R. Akers flashes away, and Gadonica pulls him back in. But Aragon actually peeled away. Haymaker's not quite enough, but Aragon just flashes forward and secures the kill. MNM with another one on to Akers. They will lose Rift Herald for this, however.
Yeah, I mean, a heavy invest on the bot side. They lose Herald for it, but it is a little bit slow. You could see Renekton getting a few more plates here. Definitely putting the pressure down onto Akers. We expect to see the Gangplank able to scale, you know, pretty relevant threat, but being put behind heavily so far. And it's like, this is why I liked a lot of aspects of the Renekton coming in here for MNM. It gives them something to play around in the early game, and they've done that so far.
Looking for the dive. There's the arrow. There's the lantern. There's the hook. Harry just bounced around, and KDO will secure the kill. Just a clean pick off there.
Just a little bit greedy. Harry had his flash there. Could have flashed the arrow. Was like, it's fine. We have a lantern. I can get out. But ultimately, the chain CC was there. Alpaca able to follow up, and they're able to punish and now look to threaten some damage onto this tower. And with the Herald available, just make it dangerous. But they're not going to get this tower here. A little bit early Herald.
Coming in, actually gets himself the face breaker off into Afro Boy, taking a serious amount of damage. They are going to get a lot of damage onto the tower, but they do not get it, crucially. Blade the Marine King picked up for Aragon. He's heading back towards the top side. And to be fair, even though MNM lost their AD carry, I think they're okay with the fact they didn't lose the tower there.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it very much could have just been free tower for the taking, and they've defended it. And now with the Renekton up there, pretty scary to approach that, in all honesty. And all this time, all this back and forth going on, the Kog'Maw's just been able to farm up equal in CS compared to the Syndra. Level 8, once it hits that level 9, you've got your E-Max, so a ton of wave clear available to you just to push the waves out and put you in a comfortable spot. And that's essentially going to be interactions from now on. Vango clears through the waves, goes and does what he wants. I think now he's looking towards the Raptors to try and get some extra farm.
All right, has to be careful. Got the flash, got the cleanse. Mountain Drake is up. Once again, Gadonica just puts himself on the opposite side of the map from the objective. He's looking just to deny Akers as much as possible. Has been spotted out. Man, it looks like it's just going to be Aragon getting free time, free farm on this Renekton and just continuing to be a problem for Akers. And we all know Renekton falls off, but if he just starts to snowball, he'll always be a threat. He'll always be a nuisance for Barrage to deal with.
And he spikes so hard in the mid game as well. Honestly, he's just really difficult to handle then. He just does so much damage, so bulky as well with the ultimate.
Looks like multiple members are looking to make a play around the bot side, though. They've got the people down there. Gadonica's not there, so this could just be a tower lost.
I think Aragon will win this out, though, in the top lane.
Yeah, he'll get it.
So essentially, you give him a ton of gold on the Renekton, who's going to be even stronger. He's your sort of early mid-game win condition.
Wojciech's now taking a lot of damage. Dreampie looking for the hook, goes for the flash. Wojciech instantly has to flash away. And now MNM, they just run away from bot side and they're looking to play as far away
look
from
how slow this
Boy and Alpaca as much as possible. I actually really like this play.
Yeah, I mean, look how slow that tower is bot lane because it gets the extra resistances when you're killing the plates. It's got 425 armor and magic resist. So it's tanky. And it means they're able to get even more plates mid. So now, even if that tower goes down bot, you're seeing a 1,500 gold lead.
Oh, the dive in top lane. Hackers again, just getting jumped onto. Haymakers there. Aragon 3-0. Gadunica will finally fall as the arrow goes wide. And Aragon's out.
Yeah, so obviously trading back in return, not great, but you deny so much from this Gangplank. 50 CS down on the Renekton. And if we can have a look at the individual gold, obviously with the 3 kills on the KDO, he's quite a bit ahead. But that difference top is just something else.
That is nightmare fuel for a Gangplank. His build path is so expensive. Being back this much into a wall feels really, really rough for Akers right now. He's got 2 of his Triforce components. But Aragon sitting on base. He's got the Blade of the Ruin King. Bought himself the boots. I'm assuming he has a bit more gold to spend here. Because he had that blade before he based. There's the cleaver. Literally just a flat cleaver on the base. Oh,
that's really rough. That's really rough for the Gangplank. Honestly. I mean, that's rough for everyone, but particularly the person who has to lane against him. And it's going to come down in these team fights to CC in the Renekton so that Ashe can burn through it with that Blade of the Ruin King. But again, we're looking at this Kog'Maw, we're looking at this Caitlyn who are continuing to scale, and Aragon has given them the space to allow that.
Does look like actually for the moment Vango is going to be dealing with Akers on the Gangplank. He's such a non-threat that actually it's nice for the Kog'Maw just to have basically a free lane to scale in. They will lose their top lane turret for this, but Vango actually should just be able to answer out with the bot lane turret for himself. So turret trade across the board. MNM can be pretty happy with that. Aragon smells KDO. Afro Boy is over that wall though. Enchanted Crystal lands and in comes Alpaca. Aragon flashes away. Take the hook. He's just going to get caught. Shutdown's picked up for Alpaca. As Wojciech finds himself a really big ultimate there. MNM do answer back though.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there that it was Alpaca, who was the one getting the shutdown, but they managed to kill the Renekton off, and they're going to be able to take this tower as well. So good answer from Barrage Academy to shut down the biggest threat in the enemy team. But MNM do try and respond, and it's messier. They lose their support. They do manage to get that mid lane tower.
I feel like the shutdown going to the support, though, is such a best case scenario for MNM.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say best case for Barrage, and I was like,
Hey, man, Alpaca needs the funds.
True, he just picked up a Knight's Vow.
Yeah.
Spending that money. Yeah, definitely would like to see that on the Ashe. Just unlucky with how... I mean, it's one of those situations where it's such a volatile fight where you're so concerned about the Renekton getting damage up, being able to burst someone, that you have to burn everything. You have to ignite him. You have to just not hold back on the kill. You can see the goal graph in front of you. Obviously, pretty MNM favored throughout. There are some spikes back and forth, but still 1,000 gold ahead. And as we've hit it on again and again, don't want to be behind a team with an AP
Alpaca
Kog'Maw.
actually messed up. He hooked onto nothing. Showstopper it into the team. And Gadunica dunks Alpaca for the kill.
And that extra 700 gold he has is now wiped off the map. So even worse for Barrage there.
Afro Boy actually being zoned off his blue buff. This Cloud Storm means rotating through the jungle is so quick. Dreampie is able to dodge away and Gadunica chasing. They're going to use the ace in the hole onto KDO. Afro Boy tries to block it. Dreampie has to go golden. Wojciech being chased down. Gets a scatter the weak off though. Onto Vango to disengage him for the moment. And now Barrage are looking to turn this around. In comes the artillery though over the wall from Vango. And MNM walk away scot-free from the play. And they will be able to pick up this Cloud Drake. Denying that from Barrage. Afro Boy still sniffing for it, still looking to see if he can find it. Akers is on that flank, doesn't have the cannon barrage, and MNM, they're looking just to get out for free now.
It's so hard to walk in on a Caitlyn AP Kog'Maw because it's just so much long-range damage. There's the traps, there's the spit coming down. You just have to respect it. And they managed to get the dragon. They managed to get some kills in their pocket. And now Barrage are trying to respond with the mid lane tower push.
Looks like KDO's actually looking for a little something onto Vango in the bot lane. But he's just going to chase him off. And the siege on the mid side still starting up here. Vango is actually just running KDO down. He's doing a lot of damage with this artillery. KDO has to run. Mid lane turret will survive. And MNM, it's a really solid turn of play for them.
Yeah, I mean, level 11 out here on the Cogmore, so a big spike. Got the Saros completed, so a lot of mana available. Not quite at the point where it's super threatening. 2-3 items are where it's really starting to get dangerous, especially if you had like the Rylai's, you can chain them together. Leandries, so the damage ramps up. Oh, it's really threatening items for the AP Cogmore, but he's starting to come online, and that is concerning for the side of Barrage Academy. He's just frequently farming these jungle camps to get even further unlocked.
Yeah, MNM will get themselves their second Rift Herald. Actually, this is their first Rift Herald, sorry. Barrage did get the first one. See how they use it, where they want to use it. All of the tier 1s are down. This will enable them to unlock a tier 2 turret for themselves. Aragon off in a side lane, just shoving away. Feels like multiple members need to go deal with him. And you're right, they're just channeling so much money into Vango. Every camp, every wave into the Cogmore.
Factor that in though, but we're still seeing Gudonica ahead of Afro Boy, and Arrow comes out aiming for the Thresh, won't connect. A swig and a miss, and now they're looking to put the pressure on mid.
They might be able to get this. They're
yeah, with
already
reset
the members
timings,
about.
looking good.
With no arrow, they are a bit of a threat though, but Cannon Barrage coming up on Akkas soon, so
I mean, MNM just need to push up, clear out some vision around mid, and then they can potentially look to go for a siege. They have the Herald, they have AP Cogmore. With Rylai's now, but Perma slow. Very hard to engage in this MNM lineup, but they could find
good
a pick.
scatter. Harry looked to get caught out by the ulties, everything used onto him, but in comes the team fight. Gudonica, massive haymaker through the middle of the team, and it's already a shutdown picked up for Vango, but it's a 1-for-1 so far. The Scandal Week gets flashed away, and the team fight flipped on its head by Barrage, but in goes Aragon onto Wojux, able to find himself the kill. He's surviving in the middle of the team as Vango now mopping up the fight. MNM coming up massive. Akkas is the only one standing as Barrage are wiped from the game, wiped from the Rift, and MNM will crack open some turrets.
Just an overstep coming out from Barrage. It looked good. The engage was nice. They were looking to stop the siege, and then they try and mess with the Crocodile. And Aragon just dashes in and does so much AoE damage. Vango still untouched from the side, and those two managed to fight off 4 members of Barrage. Just Barrage getting greedy. I like the engage. I like the plan, but at some point you have to say, okay, we won. Let's back off.
Aragon will get spotted out by the Scry. But that was the Crystal Scepter and the Archangels on Vango. So obviously he was able to slow a lot with his artillery. But now I'm curious to see what he's going to get on his next base and, you know, how much gold he's sitting on. Actually, we can do a little toggle. Let's have a little see. As we hit the 20-minute mark, the gold lead is in favor of MNM.
Yeah, you'll likely get the Haunting guys with that much. Ooh. See the arrow coming mid. Oh,
yeah, that is... That's Wojux. That's Harry down.
You know what is horrifying? Right, think about how many kills Aragon's got, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Take a look at his level. Right? Now take a look at Vango's level.
Oh, my lord.
Similar situation. It's not quite as exaggerated, the difference between, for example, Vango and Wojux, but Vango is power farming. Past 10 CS per minute. He's level 14 at 21 minutes. He is getting so much golden experience funneled into him, and that is scary. That is really scary, because similar to casting, once you hit that level 16, it's a huge spike. I mean, he just walks mid, he gets the wave, the blue is leashed by Aragon, he's just picking everything up with just an ultimate.
They are funneling so much money into him.
I personally think that Haunting Guys would have been the better pickup than the Needlessly Large Rod. Clearly wanting to finish that Rabdons as soon as possible. Both teams posturing. This would be the 3rd dragon for MNM, and it's actually a really huge dragon for Cogmore in particular. The extra cooldown reduction on the ultimate when it's already so short makes a difference. And also the movement speed's huge too.
The flash into Ace in the hole. The team fights on. Wujux gets himself the scatter down, but Harry secures the kill. Some revenge for earlier. Meanwhile, Vango is just shooting Barrage in the mid lane. They couldn't enter the fight. This Kog'Maw is such a nuisance. 3 Drakes over to MNM. 1 away from that soul. And the pings are going down. They're looking for Baron.
I mean, Barrage need to pull the trigger. They need to start the fight. They need to go, okay, we're going now. They just hesitated. Hesitate for a second, you get poked out, your mid laner gets engaged on, you get picked. And that's the big thing about this MNM composition. It's not just the Caitlyn and the Kog'Maw. They have this hyper-fed Renekton. They have the engage potential off the set. They have other tools, and they managed to unleash them there. And I think Barrage were just a little bit caught sleeping. And now it's a 3rd dragon in favor of MNM, which is just rough to see.
Harry dodges away on everything, able to survive that. Did have the cleanse and flash, but
swing.
That's now KDO's ultimate down for a little bit.
Level 15 now on the Kog'Maw. And I mean, you can see him. He's farming the jungle again.
Level 16 is going to be big.
Oh, look, bot lane. We've seen a fight.
Oh,
never mind.
No, it's done.
Hey, the cannon barrage come down. I'm like, what? Why do I hear the Oh. The gangplank. And that's the thing is that with 23 minutes, obviously we saw those early plays coming out from Aragon, but he is still a problem for this gangplank.
Oh,
the difference in gold is never going to fix. Oh, nice intro.
Gdanika onto Alpaca. Alpaca does have the flash though, so not really worth overstaying in enemy territory without.
Looked cool though,
so without the people. But it was a good interrupt. It was an attempt to try and force him to go for the flash. Aragon is going to get some free time bot side, and someone needs to go deal with this. Akaz is going to be up in a few seconds time, but it might be a little bit too little too late. However, Aragon doesn't want to overstay, and now Gdanika actually looking for a potential pick onto Wojux. Has been spotted out by the Scryers. Wojux continues to try and run away, but that is a speedy set. He flashes away, goes in for the Haymaker. The ace in the hole will connect, and Wojux will just be cut through. Haymaker actually goes wide, and Wojux is able to disengage. KDO firing away onto Dreampire. They've been able to find themselves a kill. As MNM actually now looking to turn it around. Alpaca was the one who got cut down, and Vango continuing just to rain spits down onto Barrage.
Spin through his mana pool though, so is that. Engage coming in.
Yeah, Arrow onto Aragon. Not really the person they need, and Vango.
I mean, he's
a lot
so
of damage.
low
They get the
mana.
hook. They get the kill. Gdanika secures that one to Afro Boy. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a flank coming in from Wojux. Can Vango get away in time? Spotted out. Wojux is looking for it. Scatters the weak on to Aragon. Vango needs to be safe. Puts the spit out. Gets a bit of a slow. Gdanika just going to sacrifice himself for the cause here. I mean, he's going to bolt away.
Look at Vango's HP and mana. And he's recalling. He just doesn't care.
He wants out. Barrage are actually zoning MNM away, though, from this Baron, from their mid lane as well. MNM might just be able to start this. Barrage might just be able to start this jungle.
But I mean, this is so risky because Kog'Maw's running back. Once Kog'Maw is there, this is unwinnable. And the Baron's not going fast.
It's Baby Baron versus Big Baron. Baby Baron's on his way in.
No, they have to leave. No, I'm actually...
Oh, this makes me
feel anxious.
Cannon Barrage is used.
It's coming.
Here comes Vango, raining the pain down onto Barrage inside the pit. He's got one. He's looking for more. The Baron's being picked up, and Vango's on the run, but he's just turning it around. Finds himself the double kill. KDO goes down. It's a triple kill for Vango. MNM just walk through Barrage. Sure, they get Baron, but they lose all of their carries.
I mean, I said it. It was making me anxious, and the Kog'Maw turns up and just decimates them. They have magic resist shred from the Baron already, and then just being trapped in that pit is never going to go down well. Could have been 4 kills if Afro Boy went down as well, but ultimately they get 3. They're going to crack the inhibitor, and it's 45 seconds on that dragon, which is soul for MNM.
Vango's going to have his death cap. He's going straight back to base for the death cap. Health bars are a little bit low as well. They want to make sure they get that. Resets are here.
And the thing is,
Cloud Soul spawning up.
Cloud Soul's big because think about it. When Vango throws down his ultimate, he gets that movement speed. when he's trying to chase someone down, he instantly gets that movement speed. He can then proc his phase rush. He has the Rylai's. You'll just never escape him, ever. It's impossible. And it's really scary.
Even with the Cloud Soul obviously having a cooldown between casts, but even so, with like you said, with the fact he's got that phase rush, he's got the slows, you're not escaping Vango at that point.
And that's the thing, is that even though Cloud Soul has a 30-second built-in cooldown, it's still much better on short cooldown ultimates, because as much as you can't get it on every ultimate, it's better than waiting like a minute and a half for your ace in the hole before you can use it again.
Vango's just chasing them out of the mid lane. Afro Boy's going to get slowed up as he just continues to spit. Afro Boy is getting melted by Vango right now.
How is this okay?
Gidanica chasing as well. They've got the flank. He's got the slow coming in. KDO now looking to run away. Barrel's not going to be quite enough, and Vango's on the run. Once he starts connecting those spits, people aren't going anywhere. Alpaca tries to go for the hook as Gidanica goes golden. The cannon barrage gets used, but Aragon slides in. Haymaker shield keeps Gidanica alive. Vango untouched in the fight still as he continues to throw spit after spit onto Barrage. Meanwhile, Harry's just AFK farming and pushing in the mid lane. Everything is coming up MNM right now.
I mean, the Kog'Maw's unleashed. Level 16. Got the Rabadons. Huge spike. I don't know what else I could say. Yeah, it's looking very bad right now for Barrage Academy. They had a lot of tools to force engages. Honestly, we saw a lot of swing and misses where they were trying to engage and it just wasn't happening. They need, for this Baron or this Elder, they need to just open up with an engage, instantly try and kill Vango, and not give him any space to breathe. But the problem is he has a stopwatch. He has a Seraph Shield. He has Flash. He has Cleanse. He has a Thresh to peel for him. He has Disruption from Gidanica and Aragon.
And he has slows himself.
Yeah, exactly. And there's Caitlyn as well who can throw down traps and is also a threat. So it's not easy.
Actually, yeah, because Harry's gone for the Stormraiser as well, second. So the slows on the Caitlyn autos every now and then. It's a pretty hefty slow from the Stormraiser.
But I mean, it's the fact it does a ton of crit damage as well.
That as well, but, you know, if we're talking purely from a peeling perspective.
Oh, Wojux.
Yeah, Wojux gets slowed down. Caught in the Faith Breaker. Vango, 8, 1, and 4 right now on the Kog'Maw.
Barely even touched the ground. And
you
already down.
You thought there was some life in them last week, but this is MNM proving to be a different beast. Barrage got their first 2 wins of the round robin last week, and it looks like now MNM are looking to try and deny them from getting their third. These towers are going to get cut through so quick by MNM and Barrage. I don't think they have the ability to actually defend here. Lucky for them, there is no Baron, but Vango is just melting KDO. They're trying to keep him alive, but Vango just going to go golden through the Ash Arrow, dodging away on all of the CC. KDO needs to go heal up as the ace in the hole lands onto Alpaca. Alpaca continues to get chunked out. Vango secures that kill. Cannon Barrage is going to do nothing but send MNM backwards a little bit. These turrets are already half HP. Afro Boy looks to jump in onto Vango. Vango flashes away. They get the instant ultimate out, and Gidanica secures the kill. Aragon slides in, and it's a double kill picked up onto Gidanica. As KDO is just getting melted. Harry secures the kill. Wojux is the only one standing. MNM just get a huge team fight. Get the ace. Get the base. 30 minutes on the clock. It's all coming up MNM as they close this out.
Putting the fear of that AP Kog'Maw into us. I mean, it was just a really solid performance all around, and I think Vango's shown what he can do, getting the farm up. But, I mean, the AP Kog'Maw is always going to be strong in the late game, and I don't think it took too much intuition just to farm it up. But what I will highlight is Aragon in that game on the Renekton, really putting on a show. The early pressure was around him. They were like, okay, we need you to be our early game win condition so that we aren't just playing for scaling, and he was. Managed to get the wave in a position so that they could challenge Akers on the gangplank. They dived him, and then it was just from then on out, he was an absolute monster, given the breathing room for the rest of the team. So huge praise to him for that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hit on any other points. It was they just hard funneled into a Kog'Maw, AP Kog'Maw, and you know, I feel kind of sorry for Harry because normally Harry's the kind of player who likes to get a lot of resources put into him. Back when I was casting him years ago over in a different league, he used to try and get his entire team to run supports for him. So he's very much a resource-heavy AD carry. But first of all, it shows some flexibility out of Harry, ability to kind of be the weak side player for his team while everyone else kind of just runs around and has all the fun. But he got his Caitlyn. He got picked off early, and there were a few worrying moments, but it just fell apart, unfortunately. And with that, Vango's performance on the Kog'Maw was definitely a bit better than Monks in the NLC. I think that's fair to say.
I think it showed a different direction, though, because from what I've seen of Vango, he was typically very much a lean-to-the-side player with things like the Twisted Fate, playing for priority to assist his team. With Aragon, although he was looking to challenge in some matchups, it was very much the Harry show, so he was more of a weak-side player. Here was, as you said, Harry on the weak side with the Thresh pairing up with him, and it's like, cool, we'll chill, we'll stay back. You guys do the work, and I think it's shown a bit of variety for the team, a willingness to adapt, to shake things up, and I think it's honestly a really good omen for the side of MNM, who consistently throughout the split have looked to surprise again and again, bringing another one out for us here. And with Barrage, I've got to say, after last week, it was a good omen, and I was very happy with them, but I wasn't fully convinced, and this game wasn't bad, but it wasn't great, and I think they still have some stuff they need to work on. But they've got to still be happy. They've come a long way since they were in, say, week 2. And it's just a matter of keeping working.
MNM Academy are at the top. With another 2 teams, Enclave, MNM, and Munster are our 3 teams who are currently all tied in first. So we've lost 1 team from that top spot from today. That team being London, but they are tied with Envision in the lower spots. And there's still a lot of ties. There's still a lot up in the air. And I said at the beginning of the day, it makes for a very competitive league when all of the teams are so close to one another. So I'm really excited for the next stage of the round robin, because if everything remains this tight, when we get to playoffs, it's gonna be explosive. Like, the only word I have for it. I mean, our games today were really, really good. The London versus Enclave game was a complete fiesta, and I loved it. And I hope we get more of that, because we've had some really, really good games in the UKLC, but how close the top is really, really excites me. Really excites me.
Yeah, I've got to say I completely agree. I think, again, we had teams that were like our favorites coming in, but I like to see that every team's offering something. We have a lot of variety between the teams, and every team's sort of giving their all to try and improve. It's the fact that Enclave have a rough couple of weeks, and so they put a lot of effort into trying to get them back on top. We see teams like MNM, who on paper we didn't have huge expectations for, really showing that they can be a solid team and work together as a unit and make their players shine. So, I mean, just the whole split has been a pleasure, and we're only halfway through the first round robin, and I just can't wait to see how they keep developing. All right, well, we actually do have an interview ready. Jamada, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you.
Well, I mean, how do you guys feel after that win there? I mean, it was pretty one-sided. A lot of money invested into Vango really in that game. How's it feel to get that win there?
Yeah, no, it felt great. I have to shout out Monk, of course, Kog'Maw mid, but we came into it kind of knowing that if they pick certain champions, that Kog'Maw would just kind of be what we would put Vango on. And especially when it didn't get banned in the second phase, and then they ended up taking Ashe as well. We were just like, okay, yeah, it's Kog'Maw time. We locked in.
I actually, before I pass over to Orsa, ask you a question, I do kind of want to hit on obviously having Monk on the team, on the main team, and having a main team. How is it like for MNM now that you have an academy team? You have more players to flex around. What's the kind of inner workings there? Are they playing versus each other? Are the guys from the main team kind of helping out the guys on the academy team? What's going on internally for MNM right now?
It's been a bit of a mix. Like we've warmed up a lot. Or help them in certain scrims when they need certain sort of like draft scenarios or whatever. And then the players will from time to time will interact. Me and Anon will talk a lot about draft, and we'll sort of bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a sort of a soft ebb and flow. We don't like interact all of the time between every single scrim, but there's still a very open line of communication between the two teams.
For you coming into the split, obviously there's a lot of stacked rosters. A lot of people talked about, your Enclaves, your Londons. For you as a team, what was the sort of like the development to try and get to the point where now you are challenging them and beating them?
I think sort of mentally we never saw ourselves as a team that was sort of bottom end, middle. We always had our eyes set on the top from the get-go. We never really thought that London or Enclave necessarily had really, really insane rosters. And I still kind of hold true to this. I feel like individually the players are really good, but some of the teamwork that we've seen, the team play come out, hasn't been fantastic. And I feel like at least between us and the rest of the top side of the league, that's kind of what separates us.
Okay, so we've asked everyone here.
Sorry, just quickly.
Yeah, go.
So would you say for you it was a matter of developing that, or would you say it was just that your players sync together well? Or was it a bit of both?
It was definitely a bit of both. We had a really bumpy road to getting to where we are, and even now, I mean, we really run down scrims. Like every single week, we run down scrims. But on stage, it's an entirely different beast. They're way more confident. They're way more proactive, and they're willing to take sort of more calculated risks. And I feel more so than like other teams.
Awesome. So we've asked everyone this question, so I need to ask. Obviously, you guys see yourself as a top team. You are a top team, but who else do you think is going to be number 2? Who's going to be the most threatening team to MNM in the next round robin, and as we get closer and closer towards the playoffs?
I mean, it's kind of a toss-up between Enclave and London, realistically. I personally think that whenever Warden plays bad, London kind of just looks terrible. If Warden doesn't have impact, then London don't really look too great. And then on Enclave side, overall their gameplay hasn't been too convincing to me. I feel like there's been a lot of times where they flipped games really, really hard. And I don't want to say they're lucky to be on the top side of the table, but there's definitely a few games where, you know, they very easily could have lost. But it's definitely between Enclave and London for sure.
That's fair enough. Well, congratulations on your win, and obviously good luck going into the next stage of the round robin, guys. We're going to be closing out the interview then. We're going to be rounding out the show here at the UKLC. So thank you very much. Let's have a little look. Do we have standings? We have standings. Yeah, we have standings. Thank you very much. All right, so at the top, we have Enclave, Munster, and Rugby, all at the top 3 tied together. Then it's Envision and London, Demise, Barrage, and then we're rounding it out at the bottom is Bulldogs 0 and 7. And next week they're actually starting out tomorrow versus MNM, so pretty rough start for them. Let's have a little look at the schedule for tomorrow, see what matches we've got coming up here at the UKLC. It'll be Bulldog versus MNM to start the day off, then Enclave versus Barrage, Munster Rugby taking on London Esports, and we're rounding the day out with Envision versus Demise. Orcs, what are you excited about?
I think Munster against London. I think we obviously saw that match the first time round where London claimed that one. I actually think Munster have it here, but I think London definitely put up a fight, so we got to see. I think that's, for me, for sure, the big one.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us here on the UKLC. We've rounded out the first half of the season. We're into round robin part 2 coming up next week. From tomorrow onwards. So we're getting close, actually. We've been racking through it really, really fast. But thank you very much for joining us here, and we will be back same time, same place tomorrow for more UKLC. So until then, good night, and we'll see you later.
See ya.